Happy Thursday, everybody. Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com doing the Road to Millions on this July 27th. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We got some great comments and opinions yesterday about bet sizing, and we are absolutely going to go over those. So we can't go over those unless you guys leave a comment after the video is over. So please do. We want to go over all of these. Love the discussion. Anything we can do that can make all of us better as bettors, we're all about that. So please leave the comments and really, really appreciate it. I promise we will get to those later. So we're going to go over, we're going to recap Wednesday, the great questions and comments we're going to go over, and they're all about bet sizing. We're going to talk about don't board bet. I'll explain that one. We'll go over upcoming plays, if there's any line movement, and we do have big news about Formula One that's going to affect this weekend. And then we will go over today's streak of the day. All right, Steve, Wednesday recap. Day game. God, it's nice to cash those day games and just be done with the day, isn't it? Like, God,
yeah, it really is.
What a great feeling. So, first off, walk us through Guardians, Royals. Really a no sweat, never in doubt.
Yeah, like you said, it was a no sweat. We had the Guardians on the run line, 8-3 final. Jose Ramirez, a couple of home runs. They never looked back. Really, they were ahead the whole game, and that was, like you said, it's great to cash those bets and during the daytime, walk away with the victory. So that was a good one.
Yeah. And then the streak of the day was really interesting. We talked about, Rays run line. The Marlins have been absolutely terrible off the All-Star break, and you called it, Eflin, this strange thing with letdowns against terrible teams rears its ugly head.
Yeah, the Marlins ended up actually winning that game 7-1, and Eflin got beat up again against a poor team, 5 earned runs. It's just look at it. Whenever he plays a poor team, he has a letdown. The 2 against Kansas City, the 1 against Oakland that we had the Rays in those games, and then he has the letdown against the Marlins, who have been struggling. Pitches well against the division rival with 7 shutout innings the game prior against the Orioles and a 3-0 victory. So it just seems like he has letdown spots against poor teams, and we'll have to keep an eye on that going forward.
And what makes it so tough is it's like, are we really going to bet against this pitcher who's really against a bad team? But gosh, I think it's probably maybe the takeaway is just maybe stay away, because mentally this is really hard to wrap your head around. Like, I'm going to bet against Eflin I'm going to bet on him against the good teams and bet against him on the bad teams. That's so counterintuitive. That's tough to hit submit on that bet. I don't know. Maybe it's just a layoff.
It is probably a layoff with him, and I mean he has great numbers if you look at it on the season, but like we said, he just keeps having these letdown games against poor teams.
Yeah, very, very strange. Thank you everybody to joining us on the Road to Millions. Again, if you haven't seen the original Road to Millions video, it's on the Monday, June 26th date there. And if you don't have the Bankroll Builder spreadsheet, it's on that video, but I believe we have a pinned comment every day now that's on the video. So if you don't have the Bankroll Builder spreadsheet, just click on that pinned tweet. It's from Wager Talk. You can download it. All the instructions are on the spreadsheet, and also all the instructions on how to use it are on that Monday, June 26th video. The goal, turn $1,000 into $1 million. We are looking at bankrolls like investment portfolios. We always say we're not gambling, we're investing. Average annual return on a 401k is 5 to 8%. We think we can do way better than that. We dropped a few units over the last month or so, but we're still around that in between the 50 to 55% for 2023. So we're still very, very happy about that. All right, let's get into some questions here. We'll start with Neil. Shout out to Neil. Watches almost every day, leaves a bunch of comments. Love what you guys are doing. Keep it going. Concerning placing or grading wagers at 1% versus 2% versus 3%. Have you gents ever gone, but you don't know we're gents. Have you gone back over the last year of all your picks and do a financial look comparison, compare betting percentages versus flat betting? Me thinks flat betting would be more profitable. I know it's all about comfort level and all styles are different, but run the numbers and proofs in the pudding. All that bet jiggling seems complicated and less profitable. Neil, we do this all the time. We are consistently looking back at what's working and what's not working. And we're going to focus on what's working, and what's not working, we're just going to get rid of that. And yes, we have looked at that. Here's what's hard about flat betting. I actually messaged back and forth with Adam Trigger this morning because we did this concept on WagerTalk today. We did that on yesterday's show. So someone like Adam, he has pretty much the same juice associated with all of his plays. He's like, I have one MLB and like a KBO, or I have a couple of MLB and a KBO. All those are going to be kind of close to the same juice tolerance. He said yesterday there was a play he liked. It was minus 140. He didn't play it. Minus 130. He did play it. When you have those type of plays that are the same juice and it's like the same sport, flat betting works really well. For what we do, flat betting doesn't work. The reason is we have different juices for some of the plays. We lay juice on parlays. Like last week, we had a parlay that was like minus 140. It hit, but I can't risk I can't put that as a 4% play because you're risking just way too much. So on those plays, we're going to risk a little bit less. We also know that we hit higher percentages in some sports over others, just kind of the nature of the beast. So those are going to be just maybe a 1% or, higher than the other ones. And the other one, Steve, I think we've just settled on this 1% and 2% for our daily plays like MLB and NBA and NHL. Those are daily. However, we have like one UFC play. We're going to make that 3% because we only have one play for the week. Baseball, we're going to have 7 plays. So it's kind of hard to flat bet and say, well, we're going to have 7 baseball plays all the same and then 1 UFC play per week. So I think what I'm saying is for us, the flat betting does not work just because the nature of the plays. Someone like Adam, who has a completely different betting style than we do, flat betting works. So we will continue to do these. Kind of the 1%, 2%. Occasionally we'll have a 3%. That's one thing that we're doing is we're lowering the percentages on some of these plays. That's kind of how it works for our strategy. So I don't know if you have anything to add to this one.
Yeah, I was actually going to touch on the daily sports versus the weekly sports as well, because we just have a lot of different stuff going on compared to the average handicapper, just because we have so many different sports. We're playing all the daily stuff, all the the NFLs, the NBAs, but then we also have a lot of the other sports that some handicappers don't specialize in. So when you only have one UFC play a week or 2 golf picks a week, and then you have, like you said, 6, 7, maybe even if you have a couple plays a day, you could have 10 or 12 MLB plays in a week sometimes if we have a heavy week. That you have to count those a little differently than you do for something that's only once a week.
Yeah. So again, it's if you have a particular style that you like a little bit better, you feel more comfortable, by all means. But this is the way that we'll do it moving forward. But Neil, yes, we are constantly going back and looking. We spent, and I'm not joking, hours yesterday going over last year's NFL plays. Hours trying to get ready for that. So the next question that we have, and Neil, thank you very much for the comment. Joey, if you want to properly manage risk, you have to adjust bet sizing as your bankroll changes. And Joey, I'm just going to say I half agree with you with your comment and half disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. Not the following week, month, year, or whatever. Example, if you have a $10,000 bankroll and you lose 3 games in a day using 2% bet sizing, your bankroll is $9,400, which means you should make the bet size $188. Not adjusting that sizing means that you are now betting too much and not managing risk properly. So Joey's saying we should adjust every day. We adjust every week. The reason that we adjust every week is almost similar to what we talked about earlier, is that we have some plays that are every day, but then we have some sports that are once a week. So for example, this weekend we have golf, we have UFC, and we have Formula One. Those are events that only take place once over the course of 7 days. So we already have plays that we have put up, but they're based on the bankroll that we had at the time. If we adjust the bankroll every single day, now our unit size doesn't add up, because, if I put a UFC play out on Monday and then I'm adjusting the bankroll Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the bets that we have on the weekly events like Formula One, UFC, and golf don't match up. So we've just found it's best to reset after a week as opposed to trying to do it every day. So I agree completely that the bankrolls need to be adjusted. Slightly disagree to do it every day because of the nature of the sports that we bet. So we want our units when we have bets on golf and Formula One and UFC, we want those to match what we're betting in baseball. Then at the end of the week, put it all together, new bankroll because of our bankroll reset day, and then we adjust our units from there. So, Joey, that's how we approach it. So, Steve, anything to add to this one?
Yeah, not too much. I mean, obviously, we with the stuff that we have already played, we can't adjust. It's obviously goes without saying that you can't adjust that bet size. And I just feel like it's a nice way to kind of go over it weekly. Get your new number, what you're going to risk, per unit for the week, and then move on from there. It's a lot easier, especially when we have these weekend sports.
Yeah. Joey, thank you very much for the comment. Really, really appreciate it. So, Joey and Neil, awesome job. All right, let us move into our next topic. Don't board bet. I'm going to do an expanded version of this topic on WagerTalk today, which we'll be recording later today. All right, so here's the premise of this. I think a lot of people bet when they're just bored, and those aren't necessarily well thought out. So we do not have any bets today. None. Not in baseball, not in tennis. We had golf start today, but those bets have been put in earlier this week. So we have nothing going on. It's really easy, Steve, to look at the board and talk yourself into a play today, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's only 5 games on the slate today, and nothing jumped out to us. It's definitely really easy to try to find something on the board and just try to risk it. I mean, even I was looking at the board earlier, and I'm just looking. I'm like, oh, Angels doubleheader against the Tigers now. I'm like, all right, well, doubleheaders. You always get a split on a doubleheader, right? So take Ohtani's pitching game 1, money line's -140. Do we just risk a unit on it? Let it float. We hit it. We walk away with the unit. If not, let it ride on game 2. Get the unit back. Maybe lose a partial unit. No big deal. And then you look deeper at it. He's actually been getting lit up as a pitcher, and Lorenzen on the other side has been lights out for the Tigers. I mean, he's barely allowed to run in the entire month of July. You know what I mean? So it just don't get into any traps. Don't feel like you have to bet every day. And sometimes it's nice to take a day off too and recharge a little bit. We'll look at the weekend and see what we have going there.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really nice hit yesterday. We've started off the week great. We're up. So there's no reason to force anything. And we definitely don't want to do it just because we're bored and it is so easy. Yeah, Steve, I'm looking here at Lorenzen. So against Kansas City, no earned runs. Against Seattle, no earned runs. And then against Oakland, no earned runs. But before that, 5, 2, 1, 6, 6. If you would show these stats and then say it's Ohtani versus Lorenzen, there's no shot you would pick those numbers where Lorenzen's and the other ones were Ohtani. It's strange.
Yeah, just on first glance, you're like, oh man, how is it only -140? You know what I mean? And with Ohtani on the mound, but you look at it deeper, Lorenzen has been pitching great recently. So,
I mean, in July, Ohtani 5, 4, and 5 earned. This guy's given up 14 earned runs and 16.1 innings pitched. So, I mean, this almost would have fallen into the streak of the day, maybe. But yeah, this is a perfect case where it'd be real easy to talk yourself into just betting that, like you said. Oh yeah, Ohtani Lorenzen. Oh, board. Let's get a play in. So don't board bet is the premise of that. We're up. Just move ahead with the bets that we have. All right, we're going to talk about our upcoming plays. I will start with the big news in Formula One. We already have 2 plays. They're both parlays. They have Formula One pieces. Here's the deal. It's going to rain a lot. like not just a little bit. I mean, looks like it's going to pour. Friday is it's going to rain. That's when they do the qualifying. They'll do a practice session, and then they'll qualify for the race. It's going to pour all day. You may have some wonky stuff happen. Saturday looks like it's going to rain. That's when they do the sprint races. So they'll have a sprint session, and then they'll have the sprint race later that day. And then Sunday, conflicting reports on Sunday. I don't know what the weather is going to be like. It looks like it could be wet. We've seen nightmares at this track before with weather. So we're going to leave our plays that are in right now. I still like them. I mean, one of them is parlayed with Max Verstappen to win. Max is great in the rain. So this play is amazing because if it rains, he's great. If it's dry, he's great. So we love that one. So that's Formula One. We will monitor this. Normally we have plays on qualifying. I don't think we're going to have any plays on qualifying if it's raining like that. So UFC, not much to report. They'll do weigh-ins tomorrow. I haven't seen any huge pieces of line movement, no injuries, anything like that. So I think we're good with that. Golf, I've watched the first part. There's no wind whatsoever on this course. Tony Finau's like 5 under through 4 holes. They are shredding this course. You're going to see minus 25 or lower on this one if there's no wind on that one. So weather looks great. So expect some low scores. Steve, baseball department, checking in with the baseball department. Anything to report? I mean, we talked about Ohtani. You and I talked before. I mean, not only have they not traded Ohtani, it looks like they're just not going to. Right?
Yeah. It seems like they might not be moving him. It seems like they're going in the other direction potentially, which is kind of odd, as you know, the West is pretty stacked, and it's going to be hard to see them coming out of it with Texas and Houston playing so well. But looking ahead for the weekend, for this weekend's bets, we have one guaranteed series we'll be playing for the weekend, and looking at for the weekend, we had a couple that we were considering. We're on the fence with one of them, though, so I think we may lay off and just play it light this weekend. Maybe look towards a second play or two on Saturday or Sunday. But right now, it looks like we have one series that we have circled for the weekend.
Yeah, so things are looking good. We'll be low volume this weekend. We have one UFC play up. We have 2 golf plays, and we have 2 kind of Formula One plays. We have some tennis plays that are pending, but nothing too major. Just keep an eye out. I will tell you the text notifications, I don't even know if they're coming back. We're just having real problems with the carrier. So make sure you have your emails where they show up on your phone. Make sure you're planning on those notifications coming from email. If you have any questions, please email support@wagertalk.com. If you need to change your email, please email support@wagertalk.com. But for moving forward, I'm going to plan on not getting text notifications back and everything coming through email. So make sure you guys have those coming on. Steve, we don't really have much to sell here. I guess the only thing that we do is we still have the 30-day pass. You guys know that Andy 30-day pass for $159, so you can get on the same schedule with us for the next 30 days worth of plays. We have nothing today going on, but if you want to lock in the next 30 days, just use the promo code Andy30. Get your 30-day pass, $159. We run this at the end of each month. The year-long pass is still good. Andy 365 for 50% off a year's worth of plays. Highly recommended if you guys can get in on that. You don't have to worry about re-upping, and I promise you it's a lot easier to just follow these plays. You'll remove a lot of emotion about when we have a huge week or a down week or anything, because you're just locked into a year. Highly, highly recommend that. So, all right, it is time for the streak of the day. Oh shoot, I forgot to fire up my thing, and
we're going streaking.
Yeah. Oh wait. We're streaking. We're streaking. Your streak of the day was great yesterday, Steve. You showed a play that I think most people would immediately look at, and then you said, "Hey, let's be a little bit worried." All right, we're talking Pete Alonso. Looking at his player props, home run versus the hits, runs, and RBIs. What do we notice about this one?
So Alonso has a good matchup today against Josiah Gray. He's 3 for 9 against him with a home run, and he's cleared his HRR in 4 of his last 6 games, so he's pretty hot. The issue here is that the HRR is negative 150, so you're going to have to be pretty confident to take that. I'm just looking at the weather here in New York. It's in the 90s. The wind is blowing out 10, 15 degrees. It's going to be great.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great spot for a home run here. And if you look at it, his home run's plus 280. And Josiah Gray's a pitcher. We know that he's vulnerable to the home run ball over his career. Alonso has 28 home runs and 74 hits on the year. So he's like 28 of his 74 hits are home runs. With the HRR sitting at negative 150, I'm considering I would say sprinkle the home run at 280 plus 300, somewhere around that range. You might be able to find plus 300 somewhere. And or something I like to do sometimes with these is, if you're going to play the HRR, put a small, a quarter of that unit on the home run, so that if he does blast the home run, you get a nice return.
Nice. So we're looking at Pete Alonso playing the home run versus the hits, runs, RBIs. For the Road to Millions, just kick back, relax. We'll monitor our golf plays. No stress day. We're coming off the win yesterday, trying to protect our profits. So let's have a great Thursday. Good luck, and we will be back on Friday to get you ready for the weekend.
Good luck.